Good morning, mathematicians. We're looking at Lesson 10, World's Record Folk Dance. In this cool down, we're going to be thinking about dancing and certainly using a context to start considering division. The prompt says a different group of 4,632 dancers make groups of 8. So our first task is simply to write a division expression that could represent the situation. Well, we know that our first number in our division sentence represents the whole number that's going to be broken up. Then it is divided up into groups of a certain size or a certain number of groups, and that's our second number in the division expression, right? That's the difference between the dividend, which is our first number, the thing that's being divided, and the second number, our divisor, which represents the number that goes in each group or the number of groups. So now that we've considered that, we know this first number has to be the 4,632. Because that is the number of dancers that are going to be broken up into groups of what size? Groups of 8. So that is the answer to number 1. We have 4,632 being divided by 8. Now, our next part is to consider what the answer will be to that. How many groups of 8 will there be? Let's explain or show our thinking. And today, as we've thought about this in our lesson, you can think about this in so many ways. And one way that we've thought about is almost like taking groups and building up till you've used up all of these 4,632. So first of all, I know that I could have 500 groups of 8, right? Because if I have 500 groups and each of those groups has 8 members, then really I'm thinking about what is 5 times 8, and then I'll add 2 zeros. Well, 5 times 8 is 40, and then there are 2 zeros outside the basic fact, so that uses up 4,000 of the 4,632. So that was a really good first take, right, from that big number of 4,632. Now I know I can go ahead and do 50 more groups of 8 because I can use that related fact. I'm still thinking about 5 times 8, which is still 40, but now there's 1 zero outside the basic fact. So that's going to use up 400 of those people that are going to be sorted into groups of 8 and are going to be our dancers, right? But I still have 232 dancers that I still can sort and I still can go ahead and put into groups. So let's go ahead and let's do 20. Well, if we do 20 times 8, right, we're still thinking about 2 times 8, which is going to equal what? That's going to equal 16, and there's 1 zero outside my basic fact. So far, let's think about this. So far, we are looking at 4,560 dancers having been used up because I did 400 of them here, or 4,000 of them here. I did 400 of them here. I did 160 of them here. So I have sorted 4,560 dancers into a group, but I still have more left. How many more left do I have? Let's go ahead and think. A lot of us might do this step in our head, and that is perfect. Perfectly fine. But go ahead and let's think about it here for those of us that might still be thinking. We have 2 minus 0 is 2. 13, because I had to borrow from the 5, borrow from the 6, make it a 5. I gave a group of 10 to this 3. So I have 13 minus 6, which is 7. 5 minus 5, which is 0. 4 minus 4, which is 0. I still have 72 dancers that I need to use up. Well, I know exactly what times 8 is exactly 72. That is going to be 9. 9 times 8 uses up the last 72 dancers. And now, boys and girls, I know exactly how many groups can be made from all of those 4,632 dancers being sorted into groups of 8, how many groups did we just make? Well, the answer is right here. We had 500 plus 50 plus 20 plus 9. If you need to, you could go ahead and write that to the bottom. We have 500 plus 50 plus 20 plus 9. If you need to vertically stack those so you can add those, you could certainly do that. I can look at that and see that my answer is 579. Now do remember my rule: if your question has words in context, then your answer should have words and context too. This means that there will be 579 groups of dancers. This is super simple because I certainly have shown all of that reasoning above, but this is giving almost like just a little caption that relates exactly what the 579 are. The 579 are the groups of 8 dancers that use up all 4,632 dancers that needed to be put in a group.